I've got a question for you. Is the world going crazy, or am I just getting old and crabby? Hi, I'm Sharon Gilbert, and I have followed the shepherd since I was a child. He led me through music and medicine and academics and all sorts of wonderful paths, but my choices weren't always good ones. However, in 1997, he turned all those life choices into a wonderful marriage to my perfect partner, and from there into full-time ministry. Following Jesus' steps means more than being obedient. It means gaining spiritual muscle. It means putting on the full armor of God. So let's take the next steps together, shall we? Suited up and ready to follow as the shepherd's armored sheep. Hi, I'm Sharon Gilbert, and I want to welcome you to the flock. Once again, it is Armored Sheep time, and this is the third episode. I can hardly believe we've gotten to the third episode. It took forever just to get to the first one, but I want to thank everybody who has watched it, shared it, but also those of you who had commented to me. I am so enjoying reading your comments. Thank you very much for taking the time to do that, and many of you have recommended not hypoallergenic eye makeup that I can use. Some of them I have tried previously, but a few of them I have never heard of before. So thank you. I'm going to go and try all of them to see if anything can possibly make me able to once again wear any eye makeup at all. I just can't wear it. So I've got to the point where I just don't wear makeup at all. So here I am, barefaced, ready for the world. By the way, this episode, speaking of ready for the world, before I get into my soapbox section, I want to tell you that at the end of this, I intend to begin a new chapter for this podcast, and that is that each week, those of you who want to go along with me, we're going to share recipes, we're going to share tips and, difficulties and victories regarding not only our daily walk as believers, but also our daily efforts to get healthier. Many of you are aware that I have gone through health issues, many, many times in my life. We'll talk about that at the end, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, I'm going to get on my soapbox, and it's because I have reached the age, next week I'll be 72 years old, so I think I'm old enough now that I can look back at the years that I have lived and the observations that I have made regarding the changes in those 72 years. It is frightening when I think about how different today's world is from the one in which I was born. I was born in 1952, and the world at that time had just lost a king over in England. A brand new queen had taken over, Elizabeth II, who is now no longer with us. But how do I put this? It was a naive world. It was the world post-World War II. There was a desire to build a family, to build a homestead, to build a brand new life, and to contribute to one's society, to one's hometown or city. Contribute to your country. The heroes who fought in World War II, who endured not only terrible situations on land and on the sea, but they also had to deal with the ramifications of how to fit in when they got home. In my high school years, I had a lot of friends who went off to Vietnam, and they had difficulty fitting back in. But that was a different story, and I'll explain that probably in the next episode, but it had to do with the reception that they got here at home. But when I was a child and I went to school, we studied the Bible. The Bible has been a source for learning how to read and learning how to be a good citizen and how to love one another with altruistic motivation. If you believe in evolution, then altruism doesn't exist. All you want to do is carry out and further your own genetic material. That's it. But when I was growing up, the Bible was at the center of our lives. Nearly every family in the United States attended church. Nearly every town had numerous churches, one in every corner practically. When I went to school, we were asked to not only read the Bible was read to us, and we memorized Scripture. In grade school, things started to change for me about the time that I got into junior high and high school. We started to notice that almost beginning with November of 1963, when President Kennedy was assassinated, it was like a major tectonic shift had taken place in society. It was as if that great wounding that we all felt because of that loss, that shock, that spiritual board to the side of the head that knocked us all for a loop, to be honest with you. I remember crying for days. I remember in our childhood playtime, we would play at being the brave hero, President Kennedy, against the monstrous villain, Khrushchev. And I remember playing Kennedy, and in one of those games, and the young girl who was playing Khrushchev was beating her shoe against the table because that's what we had learned. It's something many kids today don't even know about, but it's a long story. With Kennedy's death, that culture that read Bibles in school had somehow begun to die. And in its place, as with the loss of an anchor in the 19th century to biblical worldviews, which I think had begun that death, all because of the Enlightenment period and this spiritualism movement. It was as if in the 1960s that came back again full force and even worse than it had been before. And everybody wanted to read about their horoscopes and they wanted to know what aliens were coming down to take us away, and would the world be enduring some sort of massive flip, and would nuclear war kill us all? In other words, a fatalistic worldview began to take over. And the innocence of my childhood was replaced with a cynicism that propelled young women to think that they were throwing off shackles by becoming free to do whatever they wanted to do. And instead, it's my belief that since those 1960s days of rebellion, saying that I don't have to do what you want me to do, I don't have to get married, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that, I can be whatever I want to be, there's a certain amount of truth in that. But the danger of the 1960s is that it led to frankly, the loss of true freedom for women. I believe that today's young woman is under heavy expectations that I didn't experience when I was her age. She is dealing with a culture that expects her to conform to nonconformity. And by that I mean she will be given the idea that she is being herself and free and not following any rules, when in fact she is following the new rules, which have no biblical anchor, which have no learning of the Bible in school. It's been kicked out. You're lucky if you can even say God bless these days. That's how the world has changed. In the 72 years that I have been upon this earth, we have gone from that second phase of the 19th century Enlightenment period / spiritualism movement that led to the shock of two world wars, bankruptcy in the 1920s, which in itself led to a let's be free women movement, which was repeated in the 1960s. I've been reading a book called The Fourth Turning, and while I don't agree with everything that's in there, there is a certain truth to repetition. As the Bible says, there is nothing new under the sun. And so what the spirit realm does to mankind and the temptations that the spirits pull and try to lure mankind with, they don't change. They're just giving new names. And so my soapbox moment today is that my prayer for the young men and women today growing up is that their parents or their grandparents, you listening to this, that you might help them learn about a simpler time. Learn about a simpler time when the Bible was still in school, when the Lord hadn't been kicked out of the classroom. Today he's being kicked out of churches. He has been kicked out and kicked off the world. The ruler of this world is Satan, but not for long. And so my soapbox moment ends with this. The day is coming when he returns, the true king of this world, Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. He is coming back, and I believe it's very, very soon. I believe it's going to be in my lifetime. And even though I've seen a lot of changes in those 72 years, the biggest change of all will be when all of the world worships our King who reigns from Jerusalem. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, then I'll come back and we'll talk about this let's get healthy moment, okay?
Our new book, The Gates of Hell, is available now, and we have a special offer on it at the Gilbert House store.
You know, you're not going to find a deal like this anywhere else. You're going to get the book, which is a $21.95 value. You're going to get 3 DVDs.
More than 12 hours of video content, plus the book for just $45. That's half price.
That's half price because the whole package at retail is over $90.
The Gates of Hell tackles mysteries like where was Jesus baptized and why did he choose to get baptized in a place known as the Land of the Serpent?
Oh my goodness, you want this deal. This is the kind of thing that you can share with your friends, share with your pastor, read again, because trust me, the source information that Derek and I used for this, you're not going to find it anywhere else.
Right. It's not just an archaeological or historical curiosity. It is relevant to us today. Again, a special offer for the month of October only at gilberthouse.org/store.
Well, welcome back, and I appreciate your indulgence while I got on my soapbox a bit. It really does bother me when I see so many things change, and I know it does you as well. Many of you are my age or close to my age, and so you probably understand where I'm coming from. But because of my age, it's a little tougher for me to stay healthy and stay fit. Now I'm a writer, so my exercise is typing, and as my eyes begin to heal, I'm able to do more and more. But I don't get out and walk nearly as much as I should. But if you've known me for a while, if you've been watching Skywatch TV for at least the 10 years we've been around, then you know that I used to be about twice as heavy as I am now. And what I want to do with you, because I've gotten to a point in my health journey where I've started to get into some bad habits again. And so I would love to start correcting those bad habits now before they get really, really bad and make me very unhealthy. And I thought we could take that journey together. So beginning next time, at the very end, I will tell you what I've had to eat during the previous week and what victories I have seen with regards to better health, feeling better, maybe more capabilities, maybe even see my eyes get better. My eyes may have something to do with my bad habits that I'm starting to develop. More on that next week. And if you have a question about health, or you just want to complain about the way things have changed over the last 70 or so years, or however many years you have been upon this earth, say so in the comments. And if you are enjoying our channel, please subscribe, share, and if you want to, hit that notification bell, because that way, when we do have a new video up, no matter which of the programs it is, we'll let you know. In the meantime, thank you very much for all of your many wonderful comments, for sharing this journey with us. On behalf of Derek, myself, and our beautiful dogs, Grace and Glory, bye-bye, everybody.